Hello, everybody, and welcome to Planet FPL, the world where everything revolves around Fantasy Premier League. My name's Suj.
And my name is James.
If people didn't know that already, James, listening for the first time, then it's a very random time for you to be tuning into the podcast for the first time because last in the season, James.
Yeah, 51 pods in, I think, season 4. We're going to end this one like we haven't done any other one this season. No, we're not going to talk about England or Trent Alexander-Arnold or anything like that. We are doing a big fat FPL quiz of 2020-21. Are you ready, Suj?
I am. There's a lot of questions in this one. There are 50 odd. Is it quite simple, though, one answer per question? Or
No, of course not, mate. There are 50 questions and there are a total of 61 correct answers available. 61, obviously, in honour of my favourite football team, because it's been 60 years since 1961. Next year will be 61 years since 1961. There are 50 questions. There are a few questions that have some multiple answers that will all get explained during the course of the quiz. Everything is Premier League related. So if I say who was Manchester United's top goal scorer last season, it's Premier League games only. It doesn't feature Champions League or any bollocks like that. It's just any bollocks like that. Yeah, hi Chelsea fans. It's just Premier League only.
Okie dokie. There's a lot of questions to rattle through. So what I'll do is it's probably not even going to be worth. You're not going to be able to repeat all 50. Can you imagine
I'll
that?
Do it. I'll do it.
Are you sure? Wait till you do it.
There's no way I'm going to get to the end of question 50 and you're going to have no. When was question 37? You're definitely.
No, it's fine. But the listeners can always go back to the beginning and hit replay.
But they've got to find it and shit. I'll repeat them all at the end.
Go on. I'm going to stay quiet and I'm just going to answer. And I'll only speak if I've got a question of clarity. But otherwise, I'm going to let you do your thing.
You're just going to let me take all the damage. You can at least say yes, James, or fuck off, James.
You can see me. I'm not my head.
No, because you have to remember this is audio. I mean, admittedly, it's going to go on YouTube as well, this one. But I don't know. So, your thinking face looks a bit like your something else face sometimes. Not that.
I don't even want to know. Go on. Question number 1. I'm ready. Who is Manchester United's top goal scorer?
No, it's obviously not.
Okay.
Question 1 has 4 possible correct answers. 1 point for each correct answer. Question 1. Which 4 teams had a blank game week in game week 1? 1 point for each. Question 1. Which 4 teams had a blank game week in game week 1? 1 point for each.
Okay.
Question 2.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 is not bad.
We don't know 4. To be honest, I'm just trying to give you away points there, mate.
Well, I've got 3, so that's a start.
Question 2. Which player achieved the highest individual game week score of the season? Question 2. Which player achieved the highest individual game week score of the season?
Okay.
Question 3. Mohamed Salah scored an opening day hat-trick against Leeds, but which player scored Liverpool's other goal? Mo Salah scored an opening day hat-trick against Leeds, but which player scored Liverpool's other goal in that game?
What?
Question 4. Who was the most owned player in FPL in game week 38? Question 4. Who was the most owned player in FPL in game week 38? This is not top 10k or anything like that. It's just in the whole game.
Yep.
Question 5. Who was the only FPL defender to reach double figures for assists? Question 5. Who was the only FPL defender to reach double figures for assists? Question 6. Which player who finished the season with a price in FPL of 4.0 or lower got the most FPL points in the season? Which player who finished the season with a price of 4.0 or lower got the most FPL points during the season? That's question 6. Question 7. Which player scored own goals in game weeks 28 and 29? Which player scored own goals in game weeks 28 and 29? This is for the benefit of those in the audio. This is such a shitting face.
Okay. Yep.
Question 8. True or false? Emi Martinez was the only goalkeeper to save more than one penalty. Question 8. True or false? Emi Martinez was the only goalkeeper to save more than one penalty. Question 9.
That counts as an FPL save, which means a miss is a save.
No, that's Sky, sir.
Okay, so a miss doesn't count as a save, or a miss counts as a save?
No. Credited as a save. Had to physically save.
Okay.
True or false? Emi Martinez was the only goalkeeper to save more than one penalty. Is question 8. Question 9. Who was the only player to be transferred in by FPL managers more than 9 million times during the season? Who was the only player to be transferred in by FPL managers more than 9 million times during the season?
It's a good question.
Question 10 has 2 correct answers, 1 point for each. Alisson famously scored a late winner for Liverpool in game week 36. But can you name the 2 goalkeepers who recorded an FPL assist during the season? 1 point for each. Question 10. Can you name the 2 goalkeepers who recorded an FPL assist during the season? 1 point for each.
I know one. Can't think of the other.
Question 11. What was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's starting price?
That's what I remember.
You think. Question 11. What was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's starting price?
We were all drooling over it, mate. Well, not drooling, but, he was one that everyone was on at the start. So.
Question 12. Which player lost 0.8 in value during the season despite scoring 10 Premier League goals? And for a clue, it wasn't Aubameyang.
Lost 0.8 and scored 10 goals.
Which player lost 0.8 in value during the season despite scoring 10 Premier League goals? It was not Aubameyang.
For clarity for the listeners, of course, means 0.8 cheaper than the game when the game started. Correct. So when they lost 0.8, made 0.2, net 0.6. It's a net loss over the season at 0.8.
Correct. So if they started at 3.0, they finished at 2.2.
Can you ask FPL to start someone, a striker, at 3 million next season? Because we could all do with a bit of bench fodder, mate.
If you like, yeah. I mean, we'll all have Ryan Brewster next year if he joins Watford, maybe.
Is that a rumour?
No, I just made it up.
Oh, okay.
Question. I imagine Ryan Brewster probably playing for Sheffield United, I guess. Question 13. Which player made it into the FPL team of the season despite finishing the season at a lower value than what he started with? Which player made it into the FPL team of the season despite finishing the season at a lower value than what he started with?
Okay.
Question 14. Which forward from the 3 relegated teams reached 100 FPL points? Which forward from the 3 relegated teams reached 100 FPL points?
Man.
What, that a relegated forward reached 100 FPL?
Yeah. I mean, in Sheffield United, because they scored about 3 goals all season. But then you look at Mitrovic didn't play all year. Madra only joined halfway.
Are you just going to go through
season.
potential answers, are you?
Yeah, it's a lot of points, considering how few goals that these guys scored.
Question 15. Who was the highest scoring FPL player in the second half of the season with 107 points? I will clarify, second half of the season, as in game week 20 to 38. Who was the highest scoring FPL player in the second half of the season with 107 points? Question 16. How many consecutive appearances has Joe Willock scored in for Newcastle? How many consecutive appearances has Joe Willock scored in for Newcastle? Is question 16. Question 17. Which team drew the most games? Question 17. Which team drew the most games?
I hope it's the obvious one.
Well, I don't know yet till you tell me the answer at the end.
You will know who I put down because you and I record every Friday. We predict all the results.
I was just going to say, Suj and I record the game week preview on Patreon every Friday, and every week I go, yeah, if in doubt, there's a certain team I pick for a draw, and I definitely know that's who Suj is thinking of.
100%.
Just off that alone.
100%.
Question 18. Who scored the 12th and final hat-trick of the season? Question 18. Who scored the 12th and final hat-trick of the season?
I've got a sneaky one on that. I like this quiz so far. I think it's going okay.
Okay, thanks, mate. It's helpful for Suj that all the questions kind of relate to events that happened in the last year. Because we often know that we could ask Suj a question from like 2 years ago on our Patreon quizzes, and he might say something like Michael Carrick.
About football.
It's got no...
Let's be clear, it's about football.
It's got no understanding.
If you ask me what happened 2 years ago in something more...
American politics.
American politics, I'd have a much better understanding. But yeah, football all got blurs into one, doesn't it? Go on.
Question 19.
Yes.
Which team was on the receiving end of 2 hat-tricks in 2021? Which team was on the receiving end of 2 hat-tricks in 2021? For clarity, that's the period from January the 1st onwards. Which team was on the receiving end of 2 hat-tricks in 2021 in the Premier League, obviously? Question 20. Which European goalkeeper kept the most clean sheets? Question 20. Which European goalkeeper kept the most clean sheets? Question 21. Which team kept only one clean sheet in the second half of the season? Again, that's game week 20 to 38. Which team kept only one clean sheet in the second half of the season? If it helps, everyone else kept at least 4.
Yep.
Question 22. Which team did Manchester City score the most goals against? Question 22. Which team did Manchester City score the most goals against? League games only, obviously.
Obviously.
Question 23. How many different Liverpool players recorded an attacking return, goal or assist, in their 7-0 win at Crystal Palace? You don't need to name them all. How many different Liverpool players recorded an attacking return, goal or assist in their 7-0 win at Crystal Palace?
That was the one where we all had Salah on the bench. Well, so we all played Salah and he was benched. And then...
All right, you can all have Mo Salah as one of the
answers.
answers.
Oh, okay. Well, we got... If Liverpool score 7 goals,
this is fairly obvious. Yeah.
Salah's going to be one of them.
The answer is not one, obviously. Question 24. Which game week 11 fixture was the first game postponed because of coronavirus? Which game week 11 fixture was the first game postponed because of coronavirus? I'm happy for you to put both teams in either order and be accepted, but you need both teams. Question 25 has 4 correct answers, 1 point for each. Can you name the 4 different Manchester City players who missed a penalty during the season?
Oof.
Question 25. Can you name the 4 different Manchester City players who missed a penalty during the season? 1 point for each. We give Suj some time because there's multiple answers there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 3. It's the 4th. I don't know. And of the 3, 2 are correct and 1 is a guess.
Oh, I wish you'd stop doing that. I keep getting copyright knocks.
For the ringtone.
We keep getting copyright flags on YouTube for the fucking ads that we don't have on YouTube.
How can it be?
Yeah, we've had a couple lately about copyright flags on YouTube because your phone keeps going off.
It can't be because of my phone. It's a ringtone.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Serious.
What was that? It sounded like it was going to be da-da. It sounded like... I remember it as Ric Flair's theme tune, but I don't know what it is.
It's Samsung's just bog standard ringtone. I don't know what it is, mate, to be honest. I changed it.
Question 26. Who scored the first Premier League goal of 2021 with an 86th minute winner at Goodison Park? Who scored the first Premier League goal of 2021 with an 86th minute winner at Goodison Park? Question 27. Harry Kane's highest game week score of the season was 21 points. Which team was it against?
Oof.
Harry Kane's highest game week score of the season was 21 points. Which team was it against? Question 28.
Yep.
Who was the highest scoring forward in double game week 19 with a score of 18 points? Question 28. Who was the highest scoring forward in double game week 19 with a score of 18 points? Question 29. Who scored Burnley's only goal in their double game week 19 victory at Anfield? Question 29. Who scored Burnley's only goal in their double game week 19 victory at Anfield? It is not the same answer as question 28, I promise you. Question 30. This is where we find out who listens to Planet FPL regularly or not. Who was Chelsea's top scorer? We'll find out if Suj turns up to these podcasts or not on this one, because we've mentioned it so many times. Question 30. Who was Chelsea's top scorer?
I know that one, James.
I thought you might. Question 31. Which player recorded the most FPL assists in the second half of the season? Again, that's game week 20 to 38. Which player recorded the most FPL assists in the second half of the season? I will tell you the total is 8. Which player recorded 8 FPL assists in the second half of the season?
Okay.
Question 32. Who scored an injury time winner for Wolves against Chelsea in game week 13? Question 32. Who scored an injury time winner for Wolves against Chelsea in game week 13?
What's his fucking name? I know it.
Bloody hell, we got all the way to question 32, and that's the first time you swore.
That's not bad. Maybe that's why we keep getting copyright.
No, that's why I keep marking it as not suitable for kids. Did you see the guy who was in my stream the other day? He was like, "Hi, I love the show. I'm 9." I've been swearing away like a trumpet. I think it was my deadline stream when I was drunk.
Mad.
Question 33. Trent Alexander-Arnold recorded the most bonus points for a defender with 26. Which defender had the second most with 22 bonus points? By the way, it's not Stuart Dallas. Trent Alexander-Arnold recorded the most bonus points for a defender with 26 points. Which defender had the second most bonus points with 22? By the way, it's not Stuart Dallas.
Yeah, we're getting into duplicate territory now, where I've got the duplicate answers for more than one question, and then I'm questioning.
I didn't say there's no repeat answers. Question 34. Harry Kane, I nearly forgot how to say his fucking name then, like I don't know him well enough. Harry Kane recorded the highest number of FPL points in away games with a total of 127. Which player got the most points in home games with a total of 122? Harry Kane recorded the highest number of FPL points in away games with a total of 127. Which player got the most points in home games with a total of 122? Question 35, staying on the Harry Kane theme. It's a true or false. Only Harry Kane scored more goals in home games than Gareth Bale. Question 35, true or false. Only Harry Kane scored more goals in home games than Gareth Bale.
Okay.
Question 36. Which player took 166 corners, 29 more than any other player?
That's a lot.
Which player took 166 corners, 29 more than any other player? Is question 36. Okay. Question 37 comes with a warning to the kids not to laugh at the back. Question 37. Which player scored the most penalties? Question 37. Which player scored the most penalties? For what it's worth,
Okay.
the total was 9.
Okay.
Question 38. Who scored twice in Manchester City's 4-1 win at Liverpool? Question 38. Who scored twice in Manchester City's 4-1 win at Liverpool? Question 39. Against which team did Emi Martinez make 9 saves and keep a clean sheet? Question 39. Against which team did Emi Martinez make 9 saves and keep a clean sheet? It's in one game. It's not a piss take both games together. It's one game.
Okay.
Question 40 has 2 correct answers, 1 point for each. Which 2 players won 5 penalties this season? Question 40. Which 2 players won 5 penalties this season? I.e., that's the player fouled for the penalty decision.
Yep.
Question 41. Who was Leeds' highest FPL point scorer in their double game week 25? Question 41. Who was Leeds' highest FPL point scorer in their double game week 25?
Okay.
Question 42. Who scored Everton's goal in both of their 1-0 wins in double game week 26? Question 42. Who scored Everton's goal in both of their 1-0 wins in double game week 26? Question 43. Who was the only player who appeared in the Premier League and finished the season with an FPL price higher than 6.5 who failed to score? Question 43. Who was the only player who appeared in the Premier League and finished the season with an FPL price higher than 6.5 who failed to score?
Failed to score all season. And finish the season higher than 6.5. That's a very good question.
I love that Suj always says good questions to the ones that he doesn't have a clue to, which is why I don't know why you don't just say it to every question, to be honest.
But it's the ones that are tempters that kind of make you think you might know the answer potentially. Yep. Okay.
It's tough. Question 44. Who was Manchester City's top FPL point scorer? Question 44. Who was Manchester City's top FPL point scorer? Question 45. Who scored Arsenal's winner at Chelsea in double game week 35? Question 45. Who scored Arsenal's winner at Chelsea in double game week 35?
It's question 45, isn't it?
That's question 45.
Yeah. I think I know that one.
Question 46. Which player scored over 100 FPL points in 2021, having not scored any in the first half of the season? Question 46. Which player scored over 100 FPL points in 2021, having not scored any in the first half of the season?
Oof. Who joined a club or was dormant or injured?
Question 47. Which Chelsea defender recorded the most FPL clean sheets?
Or clean sheets?
which Chelsea defender recorded the most FPL clean sheets? Question 47.
Okay.
Question 48. Which player scored the most FPL points in the final 3 game weeks? Which player scored the most FPL points in the final 3 game weeks? Is question 48.
Okay.
Question 49. Which team who avoided relegation only scored 15 goals in their final 19 games? Question 49. Which team who avoided relegation scored only 15 goals in their final 19 games? And question 50 has 4 correct answers. Emi Martinez, Stuart Dallas, Bruno Fernandes, and Harry Kane were the top scoring players in their respective FPL positions, who had the second highest FPL score in each position. 1 point for each. Emi Martinez, Stuart Dallas, Bruno Fernandes, and Harry Kane were the top scoring players in their respective FPL positions, who had the second highest FPL score in each position. 1 point for each.
I know 3 of them is the forwards. There's only shit forwards this year. All right. Not bad, James. I think I have only a handful of blank, like 3 or 4 blanks, and it's
not bad.
That's more because I just don't know the answer.
Right, I will go through and repeat all of these as quickly as possible. Question 1. Which 4 teams had a blank game week in game week 1? 1 point for each. 2. Which player achieved the highest individual game week score of the season? 3. Mo Salah scored an opening day hat-trick against Leeds, but which player scored Liverpool's other goal that day? 4. Who was the most owned player in FPL in game week 38? 5. Who was the only FPL defender to reach double figures for assists? 6. Which player who finished the season with a price of 4.0 or lower got the most FPL points? 7. Which player scored own goals in game week 28 and game week 29? 8. True or false? Emi Martinez was the only goalkeeper to save more than 1 penalty. 9. Who was the only player to be transferred in by FPL managers more than 9 million times during the season? 10. Alisson famously scored a late winner for Liverpool in game week 36, but can you name the 2 keepers who recorded an FPL assist during the season? 1 point for each. 11. What was Aubameyang's starting price? 12. Which player lost 0.8 in value during the season despite scoring 10 Premier League goals? Clue, it wasn't Aubameyang. 13. Which player made it into the FPL team of the season despite finishing the season at a lower value than what he started with? 14. Which player from the 3 relegated teams reached 100 FPL points? 15. Who was the highest scoring FPL player in the second half of the season with 107 points? 16. How many consecutive appearances has Joe Willock scored in for Newcastle? 17. Which team drew the most games? 18. Who scored the 12th and final hat-trick of the season? 19. Which team was on the receiving end of 2 hat-tricks in 2021? 20. Which European keeper kept the most clean sheets? 21. Which team kept only 1 clean sheet in the second half of the season? 22. Which team did Manchester City score the most goals against? 23. How many different Liverpool players recorded an attacking return, goal or assist in their 7-0 win at Crystal Palace? 24. Which game week 11 fixture was the first game postponed because of coronavirus? 25. 1 point for each. Can you name the 4 different Manchester City players who missed a penalty during the season? 26. Who scored the first Premier League goal of 2021 with an 86th minute winner at Goodison Park? 27. Harry Kane's highest game week score of the season was 21 points. Which team was it against? 28. Who was the highest scoring forward in double game week 19 with a score of 18 points? 29. Who scored Burnley's goal in their double game week 19 victory at Anfield? 30. Who was Chelsea's top scorer? 31. Which player recorded the most FPL assists in the second half of the season with 8? 32, who scored an injury time winner for Wolves against Chelsea in game week 13. 33, Trent Alexander-Arnold recorded the most bonus points for a defender with 26. Which defender had the second most with 22 bonus points? By the way, it's not Stuart Dallas. 34, Harry Kane recorded the highest number of FPL points in away games with 127. Which player got the most in home games with 122? 35, true or false, only Harry Kane scored more goals in home games than Gareth Bale. 36, which player took 166 corners, 29 more than any other player? 37, who scored the most penalties with 9? 38, who scored twice in Man City's 4-1 win at Liverpool? 39, against which team did Emi Martinez make 9 saves and keep a clean sheet? 40, which 2 players won 5 penalties this season, 1 point for each? 41, who was Leeds' highest FPL point scorer in their double game week 25? 42, who scored Everton's goal in both of their 1-0 wins in double game week 26? 43, who was the only player who appeared in the Premier League and finished the season with an FPL price higher than 6.5, who failed to score? 44, who was Manchester City's top FPL point scorer? 45, who scored Arsenal's winner at Chelsea in double game week 35? 46, which player scored over 100 FPL points in 2021, having not scored any in the first half of the season? 47, which Chelsea defender recorded the most FPL clean sheets? 48, which player scored the most FPL points in the final 3 game weeks? 49, which team who avoided relegation scored only 15 goals in their final 19 games? And 50, Emi Martinez, Stuart Dallas, Bruno Fernandes, and Harry Kane were the top scoring players in their respective FPL positions, who had the second highest FPL score in each position. 1 point for each. That's it. I'm brave. I'll have some water now.
Nice. That was well done. Having done the questions in the past, it's hard work reading them all out. So good job, son.
At least I only have to do the 50 once a season.
Yeah, I've only got one blank now, which is number 43, which is that 6.5 million that didn't score.
It's a tough question.
Other than that, I've got answers for all the rest. And there's quite a few that I think I have got right. So, yeah.
I will add for that question 43, the one you're missing. It's not someone who only played like once. He played double figures in games.
Okay.
Ready to do answers, sir?
I am.
Go on then. Question 1. Which 4 teams had a blank in game week 1? 1 point for each.
City, United, both the Manchester clubs.
Yep, correct.
Burnley.
Correct.
Was it Villa?
Correct. Yeah, full house, mate. Manchester City and Aston Villa and Burnley, Manchester United were obviously moved back because of City and United's involvement in the delayed European competition from the previous season. Question 2. Which player achieved the highest individual game week score of the season?
It's got to be Sonny's 4 goals, surely.
It's not.
Woo!
It's in a double game week. Highest individual game week score of the season went to, in double game week 19, John Stones.
Yeah, 2 goals.
Scored twice against Crystal Palace for a 21-pointer and had another 6-pointer for a clean sheet. I think it was against Villa.
Okay.
Question 3. Mo Salah scored an opening day hat-trick for Liverpool against Leeds, but which player scored Liverpool's other goal?
Can't remember. Dean Henderson? Not Dean Henderson. Jordan Henderson? I said Henderson. I've just written down Henderson.
Alisson did well upset.
Jordan.
No. It was his only goal of the season. They've missed him massively. It was Virgil van Dijk. Question 4. Who was the most owned player in FPL in game week 38?
It's Kane or Salah for me, but I'm going to pump for Kane.
I'm afraid it's not. It's Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
Bruno Fernandes had 48.7% ownership in game week 38. Tells you how many fucking dead teams there were for a start. Question 5. Who was the only FPL defender to reach double figures for assists?
Surely Aaron Cresswell, wasn't it?
It is Aaron Cresswell.
He get 11 in the end, did he? Yeah.
Spot on, mate. Question 6. Which player finished the season with a price of 4.0 or lower got the most FPL points?
I'm going to go with Tariq Mitchell just because of that haul at the end. And he probably played the most minutes out of all the players on the 4 million as well.
I thought you would go for Tariq Mitchell. You won't be the only one who've done that. It's not even close. It's not Tariq Mitchell. Correct answer with 71 points is Pascal Struijk of Leeds United. Finished at 4.0. Question 7. Which player scored own goals in game weeks 28 and 29?
It's nice. Throughout the quiz, you've peppered a few West Ham answers, which I'm very grateful for.
I do that for you.
Very grateful for. Craig Dawson.
Craig Dawson, yes. Own goals against Manchester United in game week 28 and Arsenal in game week 29. The Arsenal finish was a particular screamer. Craig Dawson is the correct answer. Question 8. True or false? Emi Martinez was the only goalkeeper to save more than one penalty.
False.
Which should take so long to answer for.
No, I was checking your sentence for, like double negatives. So Martinez was the only goalkeeper to save more than one penalty. False.
Correct answer is false.
Nice.
Because no goalkeeper saved more than one penalty.
Okay, I thought someone else might have. So I still got it right, though.
Question 9. This is a fucking banger. Who was the only player to be transferred in by FPL managers more than 9 million times during the season?
I'm looking at who was injured, not in, out, hokey cokey, shake it all about. I narrowed it down to 3, James. Kane, obviously, who was injured. KDB.
Yeah.
And Jack Grealish.
Okay.
I really don't know where to pump with this one. I'm going to go Jack Grealish.
All right. Let me tell you that if you're like listening on the audio and got your headphones on and you're crossing the road or something, don't. Correct answer is Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Question 10. Which 2 goalkeepers, 1 point for each, registered FPL assists during the season?
Edison was 1.
Edison against Tottenham, yeah.
I've just pumped for Loris. I didn't know who else. I just picked it.
Okay. Keeper. Go for a long ball merchant. Why don't you? Correct answer is Sam Johnson assisted Mateus Pereira for West Bromwich Albion in the 5-2 victory at Chelsea.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
For anyone who's put David De Gea, we all know that Bruno got a touch. Don't be bitter about it. Question, and no, I didn't own fucking Bruno either. Question 11. So Edison, Sam Johnson, correct answers. Question 11. What was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's starting price, Suj?
12 million quid.
12.0 is correct. Yeah.
Second highest, second most expensive behind Salah.
Question 12. Which player lost 0.8 in value during the season despite scoring 10 league goals?
It's a real punt, but I don't think his ownership would ever been high enough. But I've put down Mopay, but
okay.
Actually, can I change my mind? Can I change my answer?
You'll get it wrong anyway.
Antonio?
You still got it. You think Antonio lost 0.8?
Oh, sorry. Value it's over. It's net loss, wasn't it?
Do you want to have another guess?
Nah. Who scored 10 and
plays in claret and blue? It's not your team this time, though. Correct answer is Anwar El Ghazi. 10 Premier League goals. Started at 6.0, finished at 5.2.
Okay.
Question 13. Which player made it into the FPL team of the season despite finishing the season at a lower value than what he started?
Robertson? Andy Robertson?
No. Correct answer is Sadio Mane. Robertson started at 7, mate. Sadio Mane started at 12, finished at 11.8. Question 14. Which forward from the 3 relegated teams reached 100 FPL points?
I was cussing out Sheffield United, but I think it's got to be McGoldrick, isn't it? Because he's the only one that bloody played consistently through the whole season.
It is. David
I feel like
McGoldrick.
he's gonna find himself at a Premier League club next season.
He might do. I don't know who else they'd fucking buy from that team. David McGoldrick.
No, I feel like McGoldrick because he had a much considering imagine the season before if McGoldrick had scored the goals that he scored last season. They would have been all right at Sheffield United. I mean, they were all right anyway, but
he was missing sitters the year before, in fact.
yeah,
He had a decent season. I mean, he was Sheffield United's best player by a distance, actually.
Yeah.
Question 15. Who was the highest scoring FPL player in the second half of the season? Game weeks 20 to 38 with 107 points.
Stuart Dallas.
You think Stuart Dallas was the highest scoring player in the second half of the season?
Don't know. So he had a couple of hauls. I thought maybe they fell in the second half. Don't know.
It is a defender. Dun, 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 dun.
Trent.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, highest scoring FPL player over the last 19 game weeks of the season. I'm going to fucking start with him again, aren't I? Question 16. How many consecutive appearances has Joe Willock scored in for Newcastle?
Is it 8?
It's 7.
Oh, there's one or the other.
I feel like I want to check that now. Question 17. Which team drew the most games?
I've gone with Brighton, just because you always predict them to
draw.
Draw 1-1.
Yeah, I always say about Brighton, if in doubt, back to draw. Yes, it is Brighton with 14 draws. And yeah, Joe Willock is 7.
Okay.
I had a fucking panic on there for a minute. I mean, it's been a lot, hasn't it? Question 18. Who scored the 12th and final hat-trick of the season?
Was that Chris Wood's hat-trick?
Against?
I don't remember. I feel like he scored a hat-trick, didn't he?
Chris Wood did score a hat-trick at Wolves. Correct answer is Ferran Torres of Manchester City at Newcastle. Question 19. Which team was on the receiving end of 2 hat-tricks in 2021?
I'll put that Southampton.
Correct answer is Sheffield United. Hat-tricks scored by Kelechi Iheanacho and Gareth Bale. Question 20. Which European goalkeeper kept the most clean sheets?
Lucas Fabianski?
It is Hugo Lloris with 12. Question 21. Which team kept only 1 clean sheet in the second half of the season?
I pumped for Fulham in the end, just because
you pumped for Fulham.
They kept just leaking goals and losing games when they shouldn't have. And
yeah, but no one pumped Fulham, did they?
Nah.
Who likes a good pumping?
I don't know.
Like real pumpings, like 9-0 pumpings.
Southampton.
Southampton kept only 1 clean sheet in the second half of the season, which was 3 less than anybody else. They also conceded, I think it was 16 more goals than anybody else over that period. So even if you remove the 9-0 to Manchester United, they still conceded the most goals in the second half of the season.
Wow.
Question 22. Which team did Manchester City score the most goals against?
I've gone with Burnley, only because, I mean, City just batter Burnley regularly. So I thought, you know what, if in doubt, Burnley's a good shout.
It's a fair shout because they always beat them 5-0 at home.
Mm.
They got 2 away from home against Burnley for 7. Another team they beat 5-0 at home was Everton on the final day of the season. And they scored 3 times at Goodison Park for a total of 8. The correct answer is Everton. Question 23. How many different Liverpool players recorded an attacking return goal or assist in their 7-0 win at Crystal Palace?
7.
I like your thinking now. Correct answer is 9. Firmino, 2 goals and assists. Salah, 2 and an assist. Mane, goal and assist. Henderson, goal. Minamino, goal. Matip, assist. Chamberlain, assist. Robertson, assist. Alexander-Arnold, assist. 9. Question 24. Which game week 11 fixture was the first game postponed because of coronavirus?
Villa Everton.
Incorrect. It's Villa Newcastle. Villa Everton was later when Villa had the case. That one was because of Newcastle. Villa Newcastle was the correct answer. Question 25. Can you name the 4 different Manchester City players who missed a penalty during the season? 1 point for each.
KDB and Aguero, I'm sure.
Yeah, correct.
Raheem Sterling, I think, as well.
Correct.
I've gone with Gundo for the last one.
You can have it. That's full house, mate.
Oh, nice.
Aguero obviously missed the Panenka against
only just.
Chelsea.
His was the best of the lot, to be fair. Aguero.
Kevin De Bruyne put his penalty wide against Liverpool at the Etihad. Ilkay Gundogan put his penalty over against Liverpool at Anfield. And Raheem Sterling famously blazed over the bar against Brighton in blank game week 18, which caused a mass and hysterical Twitter meltdown. Question 26. At least he said sorry, though. He always says sorry to the old FPL managers, does Raz? Question 26. Who scored the first Premier League goal of 2021 with an 86th minute winner at Goodison Park? Suj, you know it's not an Everton player. Who's the answer?
I do. It celebrated it well. Thomas Souček.
Thomas Souček is the correct answer. Question 27. Harry Kane's highest game week score of the season was 21 points. Which team was it against?
I assume there was two, Southampton or Man United, both that you gave schlackins to. I'll go with Southampton.
Correct answer is Southampton. Yeah, 4 assists and a goal in the 5-2 at Southampton in game week 2. Question 28. Who was the highest scoring forward in double game week 19 with a score of 18 points?
DCL?
No, I didn't think he was tired. I don't know if you did. Correct answer is Mikel Antonio.
Cool.
Question 29. Who scored Burnley's goal in their game week 19 victory at Anfield?
Jay Rodriguez?
Correct answer is Ashley Barnes. Question 30. Such to everyone who Chelsea's top scorer was and how many goals he scored.
Jorginho. And he scored goals? 7.
7. Jorginho is the correct answer. 7. Champions of Europe. Bloody hell. Question 31. Which player recorded the most assists? 8 in the second half of the season.
I initially put down Pereira, knowing that he'd scored a lot of points in the last half of the season, but I decided to scribble it out and put down Rafinha.
Correct answer is Rafinha. Well done, mate.
The £35 million man, according to Liverpool, eh?
32 million, yeah.
£32 million man.
Buying his boot deal or something. The fuck? I saw someone tweeted last night a proper extensive kind of fake Leeds Twitter account and everything. We're delighted to confirm the signing of Mohamed Salah from Liverpool for £32 million.
That's a good tweet.
Question 32. Who scored an injury time winner for Wolves against Chelsea in game week 13?
That was Neto.
Pedro Neto is the correct answer.
It was a good goal. Good finish to a game.
Yes. Question 33. Wolves normally finish better than they start. Question 33. Trent Alexander-Arnold recorded the most bonus points for a defender with 26. Which defender had the second most with 22?
This is where I'm looking at repeats. So I went back to Aaron Creswell with the number of assists and returns.
It's not. Correct answer is Luke Shaw.
Oh, wow.
We got 22 FPL bonus points during the season. Good afternoon to our Manchester United correspondent. Is my cat playing? Of Trent's 26, 22 of them were in the second half of the season.
Oof.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to avoid it again. I'm already like, no, I'm going cheap at the back next year, but I don't know how I can avoid it. Question 34. Harry Kane recorded the highest number of FPL points in away games with 127. Which player got the most in home games with a total 122?
No, I would just gone Bamford. That's a high scoring player, but
correct answer is Tottenham teammate Heung-min Son. High scoring player in home games last season. Question 35. True or false? Only Harry Kane scored more goals in home games than Gareth Bale.
False.
It's true. Harry Kane got 11 home goals. Gareth Bale got 9. No other player hit double figures for goals in home games. Question 36. Which player took 166 corners, 29 more than any other player?
Luka Dean?
Nah, you kick yourself this one, mate. It's James Ward Prowse.
I was trying to think who takes them from both sides for which team, but then okay, good question.
Question 37: which player scored the most penalties?
Gotta be Bruno.
Yeah, it's Bruno Fernandes with 9. Question 38: who scored twice in Man City's 4-1 win at Liverpool?
Is that Gundo?
It was, yep. After he blazed the penalty over the bar, Ilkay Gundogan, yep. 39: against which team did Emi Martinez make 9 saves and keep a clean sheet?
I couldn't remember, but I've gone Newcastle.
I thought you'd get this one because I spoke about it a lot at the time, Candace. Probably goalkeeper performance of the season. Correct answer is Brighton. Question 40: which 2 players won 5 penalties this season, 1 point for each?
Gone Salah because he goes down easy with a little.
Saying he goes down easy.
Little kick from Masuaku and he's rolling around like he's been shot in the head. I've gone Salah and then I had to pick a United player because obviously they get loads of penalties. So I've gone Salah and Rashford are the 2 that I've gone with.
Well, rather than both playing in red, these 2 players both play in blue. Correct answers are Timo Werner and Jamie Vardy.
Okay.
Question 41: who was Leeds' highest FPL point scorer in their double of 25?
Harrison?
Say Harrison.
It's
not a trick question. Stuart Dallas with 17 is the correct answer. 2-pointer at Wolves and then a 15-pointer against Southampton. 42: who scored Everton's goal in both of their 1-0 wins in double game week 26?
So Richarlison?
It is. Richarlison scored the only goal against Southampton on the Monday night and then the only goal at the Hawthorns against West Brom on the Thursday night. Question 43. Have you filled in your blank?
No, I haven't, James.
So who was the only player to play in the Premier League who finished at a price of higher than 6.5 who didn't score in the Premier League last season? He appeared 15 times in total, but it doesn't feel like it. Correct answer is Dele Alli, who finished at 7.4. Registered 2 assists, no goals. Question 44. Who was Manchester City's top FPL point scorer?
I mean, I've gone back to Gundo.
It's not. It's Edison.
Okay.
How mad is that?
Yeah.
You know, when people default and go, I'll just go Edison because he's the prick who'll definitely play. Yeah, that's why. 160 points for Edison, helped massively by his game week 38 penalty save from Gylfi Sigurdsson. Question 45. Who scored Arsenal's winner at Chelsea?
Was it Smith Rowe?
Emil Smith Rowe is the correct answer, yeah. Who was shared, well, technically he was game week player of the week. He shared that with, I think, Greenwood and Fernandes, didn't he? But because it's a cheaper price, he officially gets it. Question 46. Which player scored over 100 FPL points in 2021, having not scored any in the first half of the season?
That was racking my brain, and then it was bloody obvious in the end, wasn't it?
Yes, it is, yes.
Jesse
Jaylings Lingard is the correct answer, of course, yep. Question 47. Which Chelsea defender recorded the most FPL clean sheets?
Rudiger.
It's Cesar Azpilicueta, or fondly known to Chelsea fans as Dave, who was involved in 13 of Chelsea's 18 clean sheets. 48. Which player scored the most FPL points in the final 3 game weeks?
Bale?
Who?
Bale?
Nah. Okay. Nah. Other side of North London. Think south.
Pepe. Other side of... Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
You confused me there for a second.
I realised that when I said it. I was just getting my digging.
Straight away Pepe, and then I was like, South? What? Yeah, Pepe.
Yes, Nicola Pepe. 31 FPL points in the final 3 game weeks. Question 49. Which team who avoided relegation scored only 15 goals in their final 19 games?
Got to be Palace, surely.
It's Wolves. Question 50. Who was second to Martinez, Dallas, Fernandes, and Kane in FPL in each position this season?
Ederson?
Correct.
Creswell?
No.
Salah?
Yes.
Bamford.
Yes.
Who came second then?
Second to Stuart Dallas was Andy Robertson, who
Oh,
finished
Robert,
on one more point than Trent. How many you got? More than
27.
Two? That's not bad. Well, that's not more than half, is it? 27 out of 61.
No, but it's close enough.
Effort. We'd love to hear your guys in response to the tweet or comments on YouTube. Love to hear your score. Please don't put any spoilers though of any images, or let everybody else be able to have their go and stuff. But we'd love to hear how you scored at 61. You should all be getting more than Suj. If you haven't got more than Suj, then that's it. You're in trouble.
You're not allowed to play FPL next season. Delete the app.
No one's got the fucking app. No one trusts it, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's the end of season 4, mate. Well done. Congratulations. You made it. We're both still alive.
We are.
Season 5 will return soon. But if I may, content for the summer, of which
correct,
we anticipate that before the end of this month, June, that FPL will probably reopen. I think probably between the group stage and last 16 of the Euros, or between last 16 and quarterfinals. I think roughly we'll probably get a reopened game. When it does, we will begin season 5. However, our main focus over the next couple of weeks will be European Championships, Planet FPL Euro Fantasy, or Planet FPL at the Euros, whatever you want it to be, begins on Monday. We'll have daily shows available to everybody Monday to Friday during the tournament, except when FPL reopens this game, we might do something different. And that's going to go all the way through till the final, which is on July the 11th. We'll do a review on July the 12th. And then we're going to let 4 up-and-coming contenters, is that even a word? Creators take over Planet FPL content for 4 days. So we're going to be inviting the FPL Happy Hour podcast, Season Keepers, Man on FPL, and FPL by Dummies. We're going to be taking over our content for the days between the 13th, 16th of July. The following week, we're going to have a content creator week where we're going to be podcasting with some of the biggest names in the FPL community. I can confirm Andy, Az, Mark, Tom Cantle, all on board, more to come. The following week, from July 26th, we're going to have a dedicated EFL week. We're going to be talking to Jamie from the Championship podcast. We'll be speaking to some of our correspondents who are still supporting Championship clubs. We'll be looking at Gaffer Fantasy and some of the finances in the EFL. And Correspondent Week will return from Monday, August the 2nd. We are probably going to extend it over the full 7 days this season. And before you know it, it will be Monday, August 9th, and we will be into the final week before the season begins. Do I have to talk about Patreon as well, or is that not enough?
No, we'll do that in a little bit. In between all of that, of course, don't forget the 24th of July, 24/7 Editors Tap in London. There's a big free of charge meetup hosted by us, Who Got the Assist, FPL Surgery. Just come and have a drink. We'll be there from 3 o'clock in the afternoon all the way till the early hours. Just make sure you're following James on Twitter at Planet FPL Pod, as well as the other guys, because as we get closer, obviously all of this is dependent on lockdown easing and Boris's rules and all that jazz. But as it goes at the moment, we'll be there. Just download the NHS app so you can get in. If you are thinking of coming down and looking to meet people locally to wherever you're traveling from or whatever, just kind of stick it out there on Twitter and we'll help and bring the community together. That's on the 24th of July. And yeah, do come down because a drunk James and Suj are much more fun than a sober James and Suj.
I don't know about that because I remember the sober conversations most of the time. If you want a good chat with me, maybe catch me early in the afternoon. It's probably what I'd advise.
Good. Patreon, yes, Patreon. Anybody that signs up in June, just so you know, July is free. Anybody that managed to sign up in May and our existing patrons haven't been charged for June or July. But the next month is going to be free if you sign up in June. So you get June and July basically for half the price. There's a whole load more content weekly on our Patreon, 3 shows a week, as well as the Slack channel and so on, still going on strong. So if you want a bit of connection to other people in the community, it's a good thing to think about doing. And you get an extra month for free as well.
Podcasts will be continuing. throughout the summer. So our regular Q&A, which we normally do on a Monday, our regular Tottenham podcast, where we focus on our two clubs, Tottenham and West Ham. Obviously, lots going on with managers potentially at the moment. We're going to have quite a few Sky Fantasy podcasts on Patreon during the summer, because I don't know where else to fit them in, but we'll find a way. We're not going to be hiding Sky Fantasy away, but I think we're going to have quite a bit of a Sky Fantasy focus on Patreon. Our weekly quizzes, which we normally do a short form. I pick a theme. So next week's theme will be England at European Championships, will be the theme of next week's quiz. That's only 20 questions. It's a short form. We obviously normally have our game week previews on most Fridays ahead of obviously the new season. We're not doing them at the moment, but we find other bits and bobs to do.
There we go. What else do we need to do before we wrap up this show and this season, sir?
I need to thank you.
Oh, thank you
for keeping me employed. I need to thank the patrons.
I mean, you do a good enough job of keeping yourself employed yourself.
For keeping the child fed and changed and watered and all that kind of shit. We need to thank the correspondents.
Oh, yeah.
For phenomenal work during the season. And in case you didn't listen to Tuesday's pod, highly recommend a catch up with our newest correspondent, FPL Dummy Tom, who's our Brentford correspondent for the new season. Brilliant pod we released on Tuesday. I'd like to thank everybody who downloaded, liked, shared, retweeted, followed. I'd say anyone we've met, but we haven't over the last year, unfortunately. But it's coming soon. But anybody who supported us in any way, like genuinely, cheers. Thank you.
Indeed. I can only echo what James has said. It just is a really enjoyable thing for us to do. And as it's gotten bigger and bigger, and the amount of content we're pumping out, it's not easy. There's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes and stuff. But yes, well done.
I feel like I'm on holiday at the moment. You know that.
No yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? Very bizarre. That will change next week, Friday.
I don't know. If I got to watch Austria versus Macedonia, yeah, exactly.
Everybody that's listening, thank you so much for your support. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and we'll be back at you next week. Ciao for now.
Thanks, everyone. Be nice to each other, and cue music, please, Manchild. Did we thank Manchild?
Fuck
we
Manchild.
Probably should. Fuck Manchild.